The Colorado autumn air bit at my face as I stepped out of my black Tesla, staring up at the Prairie Hills Country Lodge. 5 years. 5 years since I'd walked away from this family with nothing but a laptop, my programming skills, and to words that still echoed in my mind, "Watch me. My name is Alexis Grant." And tonight, I was about to walk into my grandmother's 78th birthday party, the same family celebration where my sister planned to destroy me. What she didn't know was that her plan had already backfired in the most spectacular way possible. My phone buzzed. A text from Nolan Pierce. "My coup. The AG's office confirmed. The warrant is active. This could happen tonight." I took a deep breath, smoothing down my $3,000 Armani blazer. The same family who dismissed me as a failure had no idea their disappointment now ran a $180 million cybersecurity empire. But to understand how we got here, how my sister's attempt to expose me led to her own arrest, I need to take you back 5 years. To the night that changed everything. The dinner that broke me 5 years ago. I sat at my parents' mahogany dining table, desperate for their approval at 26 years old. I just landed a $50,000 contract for security software I'd built myself. But all I heard was disappointment. Playing with code isn't a career. "Alexis," my father Douglas said, not even looking up from his plate. Douglas Grant, real estate mogul, couldn't fathom that technology might actually matter. My mother, Evelyn, set down her wine glass with a delicate clank. "When are you going to get serious about your future? Why can't you be more like your sister?" And there it was, the comparison that cut deepest. Marilyn, my older sister, leaned back with that smile I'd learned to fear. "Actually, I might have something for Alexis. My nonprofit could use an assistant. Part-time. Of course, assistant, part-time." After I'd spent 3 years building security software that companies were actually buying. See? Mom's face lit up. Marilyn always looks out for family. 26 years of being the family scapegoat crashed down on me in that moment. I'd worked double shifts at 16 to pay for my own college, while Marilyn's education was fully funded. I graduated summa cum laude while listening to years of "Why can't you get straight A's like your sister?" I'd built something from nothing, and they called it playing. But it was what Mom said next that shattered something inside me permanently. "I just want to be proud of you, honey." Is that too much to ask? I am proud of you. 5 words I'd chased my entire life. 5 words she'd never said, not once. Not even when I graduated with honors, or when my first client paid me $500,000 stood up from that table. "Watch me," I said. 2 words that meant everything and nothing. I walked out their front door into the October night. I blocked their numbers. I returned Christmas cards unopened. And I built Vanguard Shield from a $1,000 laptop in my studio apartment, coding 18-hour days fueled by rage and determination. For 5 years, I chose myself over their approval. It was the most terrifying and liberating decision I'd ever made. The warning 3 days before Grandma Miriam's party. A text from my cousin Tessa stopped my coffee cup halfway to my lips. "Marilyn is planning something big for Grandma's party. She says she's going to expose the truth about you." I was sitting in my Denver penthouse, 47 floors above the city that rebuilt my life. And suddenly I was 26 again, heart racing, palms sweating. Expose what truth? I hadn't spoken to any of them in 5 years. What could Marilyn possibly know? I forwarded the message to Nolan Pierce. 2 hours later, he walked into my office with an expression I'd learned to fear. "She hired investigators," he said without preamble. "Ridgewell and Hartman out of Denver. High-end firm. Colton Hartman, specifically former FBI. 20 years experience in financial forensics." My chest tightened. What did they find? Nolan's silence stretched too long. "She knows about A.L. Grant." The world tilted. A.L. Grant, my professional identity. My gender-neutral shield in the tech world. 5 years of careful separation. Gone. "She knows you're on the Forbes 35 under 35 list. She knows about the $180 million valuation. She knows you're CEO." His voice got quieter. "Alexis, she knows everything." This was worse than I'd imagined. Marilyn hadn't just discovered I existed, she discovered I'd succeeded spectacularly while she played nonprofit director in Willow Creek. There's more, Nolan said, pulling out his phone. Hartman's investigation went both ways. When he traced payment sources for his fees, he found something interesting. My blood turned to ice. What kind of something? $420,000 embezzled from her nonprofit over 3 years, plus $25,000 stolen from your family trust. He looked up. Hartman's legally obligated to report felony financial crimes to the Colorado Attorney General's office. The irony hit me like a physical blow. Marilyn had hired an investigator to destroy me and accidentally destroyed herself instead. The truth comes out when does he file the report? I asked. Already filed. This morning, the AG's office is opening an investigation. Nolan's expression shifted. Could result in federal embezzlement charges. 3 to 5 years. I should have felt vindicated. Instead, I felt sick. Because I knew what this meant. The Grant family's perfect world was about to implode. And they'd blame me. My phone rang. Unknown Colorado number. Should I answer? I asked. Nolan shook his head. But I answered anyway. Alexis, my father's voice, gravelly with full authority. We need to talk about your grandmother's party. Your mother and I think it would be best if you didn't attend. Even now, after everything I'd accomplished, they wanted me gone, the inconvenient daughter who might disrupt their perfect narrative. Because, I asked, Marilyn says you've been spreading vicious rumors that her nonprofit has financial problems. We don't need that kind of drama at Miriam's celebration. The projection was stunning. I'd said nothing to anyone. 0 social media posts. 0 gossip campaigns. I haven't said anything to anyone about Marilyn. I said calmly, believe what you want. Dad, I'll see you at the party. I hung up before he could respond. 20 minutes later, my phone rang again. This time, the caller made my heart skip. Grandma? Hello, sweetheart. I heard Douglas called you. He uninvited me to your party. Douglas doesn't get to uninvite people to my party. Grandma Miriam's tone sharpened. Neither does Marilyn, though she's been suggesting I should reconsider who attends. You know about the investigation. Sweetheart, I commissioned it. The world stopped, 2 months ago, I ordered my own audit of Marilyn's nonprofit. Something never added up. New Mercedes on a nonprofit salary. European vacations funded by donor appreciation events. I'm old, not stupid. My grandmother sharp-minded, suspicious, protective while everyone else got distracted by Marilyn's golden child performance. The auditor found everything. Miriam continued. The embezzlement, the phantom expenses, the money stolen from our family trust. When that private investigator approached me last week with similar findings, I shared my audit with him. Made his job much easier. The pieces clicked into place. Colton Hartman had two sources of evidence: his investigation and Grandma's independent audit. No wonder the AG moved so quickly. Why didn't you tell anyone? Because I wanted to see how far she'd go. Turns out, she was planning to hurt you publicly while stealing from the family privately. That's when I knew she'd gone too far. I'm just worried the shock might kill me. Grandma laughed. Alexis, I'm 78, not fragile. I've survived the Great Depression, 3 recessions, and your grandfather's midlife crisis. I think I can handle learning that my granddaughter is a thief. The party 24 hours later, I stood outside Prairie Hills Country Lodge, watching relatives through the glass, all dressed in their finest, completely unaware their world was about to shift. The ballroom doors swung open, and 120 conversations halted to mid-sentence. They expected broken. They were getting bulletproof. I walked through that space like I belonged there because I did. Success had taught me that confidence isn't about proving yourself. It's about knowing your own worth. Marilyn found her voice first, tapping the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're welcoming someone home. The skepticism in her voice could cut glass. My sister Alexis, apparently a CEO now, She pivoted to emotional manipulation. But what is success worth when it's built on ingratitude, on abandoning the family who raised you? Murmurs of agreement rippled through the room. The Grant family had always been good at collective judgment. Success without family loyalty is just sophisticated selfishness. Marilyn continued, her voice growing stronger. Some people think money makes them better than the people who sacrificed for them. 5 years ago, these words would have crushed me. The 26-year-old Alexis would have scrambled to defend herself. But that woman died the night I walked out of their dining room. I stood quietly near the back wall, letting Marilyn hang herself with her own rope. Every vicious word revealed more about her character than mine. Uncle Robert muttered, just loud enough to hear. She doesn't look like a failure to me. Marilyn's speech reached its crescendo. Success built on abandoning family and success at all. The ballroom doors opened, 7:50 p.m. Two detectives and an investigator from the Colorado Attorney General's office entered with purposeful strides. Their badges caught the chandelier light. Miss Marilyn Grant. Every head turned toward the head table. Marilyn's face went from flushed to corpse pale. You are under arrest for embezzlement and fraud. Someone dropped a wine glass. The crystal shattered across marble floors. I watched as handcuffs clicked around the golden child's wrists. The sound cut through the collective gasp of 120 stunned guests. Marilyn's eyes met mine as the detectives escorted her past me. I saw fear, rage, defeat. I didn't gloat. I didn't smile. I simply witnessed justice being served. Douglas and Evelyn rushed toward me. What did you do? How could you do this to your own sister? Grandma Miriam's voice cut through their panic. Alexis did nothing. The Attorney General's office did their job. The aftermath ballroom buzzed with whispered conversations. 20 minutes had passed since Marilyn left in handcuffs. I heard it was embezzlement, and Patricia whispered, $400,000 from her own charity. Jesus Christ, Pat, we donated to that thing. Uncle Robert responded. Grandma Miriam stood and took the microphone. Friends, family, I need to tell you something important. 2 months ago, I commissioned my own audit of Marilyn's nonprofit. I've been suspicious for some time. The room went completely silent. I discovered forged signatures on donation receipts, phantom expenses for events that never happened, money diverted from programs meant to help at-risk children. Her voice strengthened, and $25,000 stolen from our family trust. Money designated for my medical care. The gasp that ran through the room sounded like wind through dry leaves. You mean she stole from her own grandmother? Uncle Robert's face flushed red. While criticizing others for their greed, Miriam confirmed my mother finally spoke, her voice hoarse. How much? $420,000 from the charity, $25,000 from the family trust. Detective Williams answered, total restitution of $445,000. We don't have that kind of money. Dad said quietly, not liquid. We'd have to sell the house. The family that valued appearances above all else was about to lose everything that maintained those appearances. Their $1.2 million house, their country club membership, their position in Willow Creek society. Before the evening ended, Grandma Miriam reclaimed the microphone one last time. I want to say something about my granddaughter Alexis. My stomach tightened. 5 years ago, she walked away from this family. Many of you judge that decision, but sometimes walking away is the most courageous choice available. Her eyes found mine. She built something remarkable, a business that protects people's digital security, real work that makes the world safer. She paused, tears in her eyes. I'm proud of her. I should have said that years ago, publicly, when it mattered most. But I'm saying it now. The words I'd spent 31 years needing to hear, not from Mom, but from someone who actually saw me. 18 months later, morning sun streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows of what used to be Marilyn's corner office. I stood in the renovated headquarters of the Grant Digital Safety Initiative, the nonprofit I'd bought from bankruptcy court for $1. 23 employees work at standing desks where Marilyn once orchestrated her embezzlement schemes. Their conversations buzzed with genuine excitement about cybersecurity education programs and coding workshops for at-risk youth. The name Grant finally meant something positive in Willow Creek, something I'd built from the ashes of my sister's corruption. My phone chimed with an email from Grandma Miriam. Sunday dinner invitation. No anxiety, no desperate need to prove my worth, just choice. I typed back, looking forward to it. Grandma, should I bring anything? That evening, at Sunset Manor's assisted living dining room, 8 people gathered for Grandma's 79th birthday. Douglas and Evelyn were notably absent. Marilyn was in year 2 of federal prison. The conversation flowed around normal family topics: Miriam's book club, my latest government contract protecting voting systems in 3 states. No drama, no manipulation, just normal connection between adults who respected each other. Tell me about this young man in Seattle, Miriam said with a knowing smile. His name is David. He builds renewable energy systems. Does he make you laugh? He does. Good. Laughter is important. No interrogation about his income or 5-year plan. Just a grandmother wanting her granddaughter to be happy. Driving home through Denver's evening skyline, my phone showed 17 missed calls from a blocked number, probably Evelyn, still trying to guilt me into obligations that no longer existed. I deleted them without listening, the same way I delete spam. A text from Nolan lit up my screen. Government just approved the $50 million infrastructure contract. Congratulations. Bust up $50 million protecting people's digital lives from real threats. My smile wasn't about the money, it was about the mission, the purpose, the knowledge that my pain had transformed into protection for others. I pulled into my building's garage and retrieved my journal from the glove compartment, adding one final entry. 5 years ago, I walked out of my family's house as a failure. Tonight, I drove home to my own life as a success. The difference wasn't the money, it was learning that some battles win themselves when you stop fighting them. Marilyn destroyed herself trying to destroy me. I won by becoming someone worth protecting. Family ain't who shares your blood. It's who shows up when your world is falling apart. And sometimes, showing up means walking away.